Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for a massive game of the Guinness Six Nations. It is Ireland at the Aviva hosting Scotland. Whoever wins this contest, they will be sitting top of the overall standings for the Six Nations heading into that final game between England and the French. But there are some stacked teams out there on the field. Both of these sides coming off wins in their most recent performances, but we are only about 14 minutes away from the kickoff of what is such a crucial game for these two sides. Looking through at Ireland's starting lineup, it is Tom O'Toole, Dan Sheehan and Tyke Furlong as the number 3. And the locking duo, Joe McCarthy alongside Tyke Byrne, who's once again had a very solid Six Nations competition as a whole, be looking to be one of the key performers throughout this matchup for the Irish. Here in the loose forward trio, a bit of a reshuffle. The man of the match from the last contest and Jack Conan as the number 6, Josh van der Flair at 7 and Caelan Doris, the skipper, as the number 8. Jamison Gibson-Park alongside Jack Crowley. They will look to get that attack going early in this match for the Irish. Jimmy O'Brien out on the left wing. There was that injury of James Lowe earlier on in the competition that did leave them, I guess, a little bit of a gap to fill. But the thing is, you look at this side, and there are so many key moving parts to how Ireland play out there on the field. And one of them will be what type of performance we see under the high ball from Jimmy O'Brien, as I think that there will be a few times that they do go aerial throughout this match. Stuart McCluskey, he has been an insane 12 option for the Irish throughout this competition. Also alongside him in the midfield, it is going to be the man at 13, Gary Ringrose, Robert Ballacoon out on the right wing, and then Jamie Osborne at number 15 for the Scotland side. Looking at this lineup, it is Pierre Schoeman in the front row alongside George Turner and Xander Fagerson, Max Williamson and Grant Gilchrist as that locking duo, Matt Fagerson at 6, Rory Darge at 7, and Jack Dempsey there as the number 8. Ben White and the very dangerous Finn Russell as the number 10. Whatever he does in this game, it will be very hard to predict, but that is where the battle of him and Crowley should be so intriguing. They go face to face. In terms of the left wing, I don't think many people were predicting that Kyle Steyn was going to be all right to play this game after how he left the field in the game just last week up against the French. So in the process of trying to make the tackle on Antoine Dupont, he hurt himself after, and he got stretchered off the field. But he's somehow playing in this game, and he was such a key part of that Scottish win up against the French, so I'm sure the Scottish will be thoroughly happy to have him in their side. Sione Tuipulotu and Hugh Jones, the powerful midfield. Darcy Graham out on the right, and Blair Kinghorn as that number 15. But that is the starting lineup for both of these sides, ladies and gentlemen. We are only around 10 minutes away. We are not far from the national anthems. There is also a sevens competition in New York taking place, so what we will be doing is keeping you updated about those games as well along the way. But there is certainly going to be some epicness near the end of the Six Nations competition. There are 3 sides that can still win the comp. And with the way that the table sits, if Scotland were able to win this game with a bonus point, that would give them the best potential option of going on and winning this one. It would not be easy, though. That is for sure. There is still a lot of work that Scotland have to do. But as you can see, the table, it's quite an interesting one. People were talking about the potential of England finishing last, but that isn't really an option at this point in time, unless we did see the Welsh win their game by a massive margin up against the Italians, and for the English to lose by a huge, and I'm talking huge margin, up against the French. We have got there, both teams have fallen short of hope when they need it. So the first 20 will be telling, says Maddie. And I think that both sides will really want to get off to a great start in this contest. In the last round, we did see the Irish pull off the victory at the Aviva up against the Welsh, but maybe not quite as comfortable of a game as they would have liked it to be. It seems to be a trend that does happen, though, time and time again. When we do see sides play Wales, they just seem to overperform in their games, but they haven't quite been able to get themselves that big victory that they've been after. But still time to be able to find it in the Six Nations. In terms of that Scotland and France game, it was an insane high-scoring contest, 90 points total for the teams in that matchup, which once again is just something that we are not used to saying for a Six Nations competition, but it happened. And then Italy also having that massive win up against the English, a phenomenal performance there to be able to get themselves a few points as well. Scotland win the coin toss, and big day for the Scots. Says Salah there. And do you know New Zealand's critically endangered kakapo parrot has a standout breeding season? No. I know of a kakapo, but I didn't know anything about their breeding. I don't really pay attention to when birds are mating and whatnot. And man, the big green flightless parrot, says Cal Mac there. Saying here that both of these sides covered well, excited for the task that is coming up here, which is going to be a massive game of the Guinness Six Nations. Whoever wins this match, they will be sitting number one in the overall standings. Now, the thing is, they may only be sitting number one for a number of hours, but you're still sitting number one at some stage, which is a massive achievement, and whoever wins this game does finish second, theoretically, in the Six Nations if France do win their match up against the English. I've seen a video about the Six Nations and the 8 other trophies associated with it. Calcutta Cup is the oldest one, and Rayburn Shield up for grabs, lads. There's Shane and Billy there, and come on Scotland, says Mike, and there as well. We are just about to have the anthems, and then we will be underway for this all-exciting matchup. Do let me know, of course, your score predictions for this game, ladies and gentlemen. Who do you think will be able to get themselves the victory? Is it going to be the Irish at the Aviva, or is it going to be the Scots who once again show just how strong they can be on any given day and get themselves the big win here? This is the Scottish Six Nations campaign. They will look back at that game up against the Italians with frustration. A rainy night in Italy, but it was won by this Italian side that have also pulled off some other pretty substantial wins, including that game up against the English. And they were able to beat them for the first time ever. For Scotland, they were able to beat England. That is a regular occurrence now in the Six Nations competition. They beat the Welsh in a narrow victory, and then also beating the French at Murrayfield 50 points to 40. And what was one of the most hectic games of the Six Nations competition so far. For the Irish, they were able to beat the Welsh just last week. They also beat the English 42 points to 21. They had a 7-point victory over the Italians, and then the French in the opening contest. That is the game that the Irish will look back on with a bit of frustration too. Had they kept that one a bit closer or had scored maybe 1 or 2 bonus points, this game for the Irish could have been a lot different. But at the same time, they can still win the Six Nations from here. But they need to rely on England to be able to get the victory, which is something that some will find very tough to do, whether that's Scotland or Ireland, who are hoping for it. But this game, we are not too far away from kickoff, about 5 minutes away. Also, while we are at it, some will be wondering what is to come for these two sides after the Six Nations fixture. Well, for Ireland, they have got the matches in July, taking place in the Nations Championship, up against Australia, up against Japan, and also up against New Zealand. Some of those games still to be determined in terms of the timing. And then November internationals for the Irish, Argentina, Fiji, and a massive way to close out the year for Ireland up against the Springboks. For Scotland, they have got the 3 matches in July, also up against Argentina, South Africa, and Fiji. Then in November, Scotland play the Kiwis, they play Australia, and they play the Japanese. So it's kind of a little bit of a switch, per se, in terms of who they are going head-to-head with. That is the way that this Nations Championship works. You play every side that is involved in the other side of the draw, and then the top 2 sides that go through to play in the final. There may even be a semi-final. No, I think it is just the final, in fact, for the top sides. Puma 7's on fire, 3 tries now. Says Jasmine. So yeah, getting off to a flying start in that contest. I did say in my preview, or at least I think I did that, I wouldn't trust Argentina in an opening contest up against the Fijians. Go Scotland, says Sue. And thank you for the great commentary. Can't get the Irish TV app to work in Ireland, says Rock and Meat Roll. It would be a bit of a shame if this game... Is it free to air anywhere? Yeah, I'd assume that it would have to be free to air in Ireland, right? But just a few technical difficulties in that regard, but still doing the handshakes of the players. About 5 minutes away from the start of this match. Bundy Arkey back in their number 23 jersey, looking to bring his own impact off of the bench alongside Craig Casey and Kieran Frawley as those back replacements. Timony's been pretty solid throughout the Six Nations competition. We have got there, what number is Stormers now? They will move into second. What are the chances of Scotland winning? 1 second. In fact, I think I have the odds somewhere that I can pop up on the screen. There we go. So Scotland are $2.60 underdogs, which if you were to put that into percentages, they're probably about a 35-40% chance of winning this game, which to be fair at the Aviva is actually pretty handy. I feel like they'll be more than happy with where they sit in that regard of the odds makers. But, of course, anything can happen in the very near future, and we are about to see it when they take to the field. Scotland will either get off to a flying start, or they may find themselves struggling to be able to find the tempo early on up against the Irish Triple Crown at stake. Says Brian there, and go through, says JD. And also we're going to go Scotland, they gave us the bagpipes, and now we're going to give them carrots. What do you mean by that, Daryl? Scotland by 15 points, try for the Fijian Sevens, says Jasmine. And there as well. But I will mention anyone who is new to the channel, of course, be sure to hit that subscribe button. It is greatly appreciated you all being here for what is considered as Super Saturday or Super Sunday, depending on where you are in the world. It involves all 3 games of the Six Nations, all taking place back to back. The next game is Wales versus Italy, and then the game after that, it will be the contest between France and England to determine who wins the Six Nations competition. Scotland to win by 7, all to play for. I like the idea of sides wanting to the English to win. Makes it change. Says Akaris. And there too. But we see the big man Grant Gilchrist looking determined. And quite a few Scottish supporters seem like they have made the trip for this contest as well. It looks sold out at the Aviva, as it should be, with the Six Nations on the line. So how many South African players in Scotland, says Roger? I think they've got a couple thrown in there, but eligible to play for Scotland, so I don't see what the problem is there. We have got Ireland by 19, says Sock. And enough, says Daryl. And come on, France, says Christopher. And there as well. Now, the Ireland Rugby anthem about to be sung. Do, says Cobber. And there as well. But who is going to be the big player who has a man-in-the-match performance? I'm thinking McCluskey versus Tui Pilotu. Whoever gets the better of that head-to-head probably go a long way in this contest. Same with Matt Fagerson versus Jack Conan. Conan was man of the match in the last matchup. Kyle Steyn, he received man of the match for Scotland up against the French, but wasn't actually able to accept his award due to being in the medical room. Oh, we have there, Steyn is amazing. Steyn is amazing, says Daryl. Scotland by 5. And 2 great anthems, says Daryl. Do you think Wales will win this weekend? It's their best chance with the fact that they're playing Italy at the Principality. Well, the Italians have plenty of motivation. They are sitting decently on the overall standings with a chance of finishing as high as, I believe, 3rd? Is it 3rd or 4th? Maybe 4th, actually, for the Italians at the moment, unless they were able to get themselves like a massive bonus point victory and Ireland were to lose this game without a bonus point, then they could potentially get 3rd in the overall standings. Are you also secretly hoping for another Scottish miracle? If Scotland win, they have to win with a bonus point. That's pretty much my kind of rules here. Because if they don't win with a bonus point, I think that France will play a lot safer game up against England and probably just win by, let's say, 5 points or something, take out the Six Nations. Thanks very much for coming. But if Scotland win with a bonus point, that puts a lot more pressure on France to score tries, which will then bring mistakes, and that will then bring England right back into that game. Worried about Jack Crowley kicking. He's a weak link. Says Mike, I don't know. I feel like Crowley's still showing that he can do enough on attack to be able to very much so earn his spot in this Irish side. I know that they were earlier on going with the option more so of Sam Prendergast. It seems like Crowley settled into the role that little bit more. We've got the donation from Akaris. Buy yourself a pint after your work today. You deserve it for your fantastic coverage of the Six Nations. Thank you very much, Akaris. Greatly appreciated for your generosity there. It's been an absolutely awesome competition. I know that there's always the talks of the comparison. Rugby Championship, Six Nations, they are both so different in so many ways, but this competition has been absolutely incredible. The upsets that we've seen, the brilliant rugby that's been played, and it's not over yet. 3 more games to go before the end of the comp. But the national anthems have been sung, and now we are ready to go for this contest. Crowley is nowhere near as creative. He is not, but he does offer that little bit more defensively, which I do think at the moment is something that Ireland will definitely need to rely on in this game up against a Scottish side that went on and scored themselves a total of a very impressive 50 points up against the French. And Ireland by 30, says Doc there. Yeah, but England need to do this later, says Daryl. And Stormers versus the board, says Kyle. They are just showing those starting lineups again here. Scottish starting lineup led by Sione, Tui Pilotu. And also we've got the Ireland by 30. And is it 4 tries for a bonus or 3 more than your opposition? 4 tries for the bonus. So theoretically, both of these sides could receive a bonus point from this game. Of Of course, for Scotland, if they were also able to get themselves a victory along the way, would be quite a substantial one, as it would then put pressure on the French to have to go on and win with a bonus point in their contest. But the final moments before kickoff are just now taking place. Big opportunity for some young men off the bench as well. Darren Murray at 19, Alex Craig at 19 for the Scots. The Aviva is full. The crowd are ready to go. And it's going to be exciting. Sorry, I almost forgot how to talk there for a second. I am thoroughly excited for this game. Luke Pearce with the referee in charge. Tom Jordan says JD off of the bench as well, alongside someone like a George Horn. It's weird to get a bonus point when you lose. Why do they bring that in, that rule? It's been a rule for a very long time. The only competition that doesn't do it is actually Super Rugby. URC do it as well. In fact, I think Super Rugby is the only one that doesn't do it, or at least of the ones that I can think of. Or same as the Rugby Championship, in fact. Jack Crowley, he will be kicking this one off. The TMO in charge of this one, Andrew Jackson of the RFU. And hi, Hamish all. Been away Ireland at home on form. Hard for any Northern Hemisphere side to beat Go, says Kernovik. And that's the thing, like some people have criticised this Irish team for some of their performances throughout the Six Nations. But when it comes to the Aviva, even when they've won ugly, they have won. And that's the big thing here that we have to think about. Scotland, they have had some brilliant victories over the French, over the English, but they both were at Murrayfield. The only side they've beat away from home was Wales, and that was at the Principality up against a Welsh side that are pretty unpredictable. Game on, says Cobber. It is now kicked off, and the Six Nations final round is underway. Nice take from Hugh Jones, tackled low by Josh van der Flair, currently situated inside of their own 22, Scotland. He's still my friend, Hamish, says Mohadeen. I don't think much has changed since the last time you asked that. And now ball's going to be there for Ben White. Now kicking this one high. And downfield towards the halfway line. Doesn't manage to find touch with it though. So now running this one forward. It will be the young man Jamie Osborne. It's not too long ago that he did manage to get himself in a position of a nomination for the Breakthrough Player of the Year. He's got some real X factor about him in that 15 jersey. Safe at the back for the Irish side. And Osborne touches the ball again. Crowley runs through a gap, carves through the middle, almost gets through the tackle attempt of Finn Russell, but the ball lost on the ground by the Irish. There was the knock on. The advantage was still in play, so it will be the scrum for Scotland on their own 22, but a nice piercing run from Crowley, showing that attacking prowess. Hitting Ireland on the front foot early. Can you explain what happened to the Bulls? They didn't play well. It's pretty much the gist of it. They should have done a lot better than they did, but they just let themselves down with a majority of their handling. It was just very poor as a whole. And we have got the don't mock the shoulder to shoulder line. And also we have got the after the World Cup 2017, Rugby Championship comes back. And Ireland will smash the Scots with ease, says Sonny Listen. See, that's the type of Six Nations confidence that I don't think any side have really had throughout this competition, because they've been so unpredictable, all of these sides as a whole. No one is undefeated at this point in time, so no Grand Slam on the cards. We got a donation there from Sham as well. A nice one man. Go on Ireland, by the way. So thank you very much for your generosity there. I think that's maybe Australian dollars, is it? So yeah, greatly appreciated. It's already 2 donations on this live stream. That's going to be the penalty now awarded to the Irish against the scrum feed. And a decision now to be made by the men in green. Do they go corner or do they go for the 3 points? I think they'll go aggressive here, because that would then mean that even if France were to draw with England, the chance for Ireland to still win the Six Nations would be on the cards. It is, says Sham. So yeah, it is greatly appreciated once again. Big celebration there from Tyke Furlong in the scrum. Now about 6 metres out from the line, Ireland ranks second in line-out success at 93.6%, while Scotland are last with 84.4%. Now Ireland only 2 metres short of the try line. Gibson Park going away to the left-hand side. Nice quick hands there from the Irish in between the posts. It is going to be Jamie Osborne who tries, or scores the try, in fact, for Ireland in the early stages of the match. I think Ireland will gain from the home advantage, says Gunnar. And Hamish, could you please keep us updated on the 7, says Johan. Certainly can. So half-time in that match between Fiji and Argentina. It's a relatively high-scoring one. Argentina were leading. But once we get a full-time score, I will, of course, let you know for that matchup. But a great try there from the Irish. The set piece, Ballacoon running it straight and hard. And then from there's a very smart play from one of the Irish players here. Doris shoveled it on nicely. And then the quick hands from Crowley to get the try assist. And get the first try of the contest for the Irish. Straight out in front. Crowley converts. Makes the score 7-0 for Ireland here. Being the championship of shocks. If it would continue, win today for Scotland, Wales and England, says Ronald. I expect Ireland to take it, says Amy. And yeah, a very quick start to this contest for the Irish. Although, they did score in the 6th minute of their game up against the Welsh. I will mention, and that did seem to be the first for a little bit of time. That's it, Ireland by 15, says Remley there. And try, says JD. Ball is there for Jameson, gives him Park. Rolls it back past the leg of Josh van der Flair. The problem is that Ireland score early. You know, it's going to be a difficult game. Hashtag pray for Scotland, says Xander. Although the Scottish side, they conceded 40 points up against the French, but they were still able to fire back. They did concede 1 or 2 early tries in that game as well. Scotland, you're playing senior hurling. And put the manners on you today as usual, says Barry, going off to the left-hand side. Chance here for Finn Russell to try and link up with his outside backs. Now going out to Kyle Steyn. Once again, the fact that he is even playing in this game is absolutely huge after the fact that he was unable to finish the last match up against France and actually got stretchered off the field for that game. Now Xander Fagerson carries. Nice one there for Scotland, who are 40 metres out from the line. Someone's scrum cap was ripped off in the background. Not too sure whose that was. It was probably Xander Fagerson's, to be fair. I know he's still got his on. Now Gilchrist goes across to Russell. Sione Tuipulotu, 2 men on his outside. Cuts back round Furlong, who tackled him a little bit too high. 25 metres out from the line for Scotland. So they look to get the attack going. Van der Flair with a bit of a counter ruck. And to Fagerson. 22 metres out. It was almost a clean steal for Caelan Doris, who was lightning quick when getting into those breakdowns. Ireland can't be beat this close to St. Pat's Day, says Sonny. Shoulder to shoulder together, whatever. Says Sock and Ireland scores just after I vote for a Scottish win. Says Young. Although Scotland, they have had a decent amount of possession since that Irish try. 10 phases in a row for the away side. White goes back across to Piers Scorman. Doesn't quite get that same reaction from the crowd as he does when playing in Scotland, but still a little bit of a rumble when that man touches the ball. Still in the hands of the Scots. 13 phases in. Ireland consistent in their defence thus far. They do not want to budge this early on in the contest. It would be a statement if they're able to stop this attack. Finn Russell across to Kyle Steyn, cuts inwards and around the tackle, attempt to ringrose, but then dragged down by Van der Flair and Furlong. Numbers on the left-hand side. Skip pass on the outside from Russell. Finds the hands of Turner. 10 metres out from the line on the near touch for the Scottish. Dempsey fires it on the inside. Now still putting them together here in terms of phases for Scotland. 18 phases in a row. Pierre Skirman goes across. Russell, short ball. Kinghorn, one more to Graham. And they'll score out wide Scotland. Answering back with a try of their own. And this one's going to be a seesaw of a battle, ladies and gents. But speaking of seesaws, it is not so much of one in the game between Fiji and Argentina. 31-12 in favour of the Argentines there. Darcy Graham says Cobber. And let's go Ireland, says Mary. Or Mary, sorry, I should say. And there as well. And come on, the Scots, says Monkey Monk. And Welsh says Sham. But Pierce Scorman just powering through the tackle attempt of Furlong initially, keeping Scotland on the front foot. And then the quick hands on the outside. Kinghorn goes to Graham. And they go over for the try, Scotland. And your beauty, says Cal Mack. Does seem currently like there is a good chance of bonus points for both of these sides. In terms of the try-scoring department, converted, says John. And tit for tat, that's the way, says Young. Finn Russell does get this one down the middle, making the score 7-all between these two sides. Dale is once again going to do what he did on the last live stream and update the scoreboard, even though there's one on screen. We have got there Steyn. What part of Scotland is that? Says Rimley. He does qualify for Scotland, though. And I always find it interesting. We mentioned about it on the last live stream. When Scotland do badly, there's no mention of the South Africans in the team. When they do well, that is always when we see a lot of people claiming these Scottish players. Whereas when they were losing, no one was mentioning a thing. It's quite interesting the way that it turns around when they do well. Now kicked off high. Nice take from Max Williamson. Are we in for a treat of a game? Hamish says, Blickies, we certainly are. This is the final score. It's going to be a draw. And that's 2 decent back rows. It's 2 decent starting lineups in general. But yeah, the back rows like Matt Fagerson up against Jack Conan. Man of the match from the last contest. Like, there's so many players out there. Van der Flair, Rory Darsh in the 7 battle. It's quite incredible to see these two sides go head-to-head, and it just feels like it's going to be a test match to remember. Furlong going away to the left-hand side, currently 40 metres out from the line for Ireland. McCluskey trying to make those extra couple metres post-contact. Is it going to be another crazy Six Nations day? The answer is not sure, but rather how crazy, says Mario, but that is going to be offside against Darcy Graham. There's going to be a special game here. Good weather, says JD. Like I said, so not humble, says Sock. And also, we are in for a treat of a game. And when in England losing the 4th one in a row, says Gavin. Well, it's going to be kicked into touch only just inside of the field of play. Currently, the live standings has it that Scotland would be sitting number 1 in the Six Nations with a draw here. But now the Irish, they will, of course, want to fire straight back into it. And also, when is England losing the 4th one in a row, says Gavin. So they are going head-to-head up against the French just around the corner. And that is going to be at 9:10 a.m. New Zealand time. Looks like Grant Gilchrist's nose needs a bit of fixing. Some blood falling from it. Who scored for Ireland, says Joe Man? It was Jamie Osborne. Managed to get the try. In fact, while we're at it, while we've got a bit of a stoppage here, we might as well get a try scorer thingy going across the bottom, I'd say. 1 second, we'll go like this. We'll go Ireland try scorers. And we will stick Osborne on that list. Osborne scoring in the... It was the 3rd minute of the game, wasn't it? For the Irish. And then we'll go Scotland try scorers. And they had the try from Graham at about 8 minutes in, we'll go with. But we'll stick that down the bottom just so you guys can see it as well. Now, that's going to be another one to add to the list. Great work from Dan Sheehan to find his way over the goal line. The driving maul from the Irish has proven effective. And just as we wrote it down, we're going to have to add another name in the 10th minute there for Dan Sheehan. 1 second, we'll go like that. We'll save that. There we go. We'll stick that down the bottom. And also we have the Ireland try, 12-7, says John there. And also 3rd minute Osborne, says Mary. But the rolling maul initially was halted by the Scottish, but then going round the side there, Dan Sheehan slamming it down over the line as he's tackled by Tui Pelotu. This game is going to be a high-scoring one, the moment, the way that it feels. We'll mention Fiji versus Argentina has also come to a close in the New York Sevens, 31-12. Win for Los Pumas there. Crowley sneaks it just inside of the left-hand upright. And now the score 14-7 in favour of Ireland. Question is now, with this back and forth kind of contest, are Scotland going to cross the line again here in quick succession? I was born above Koibik, says Mary. Tui Pelotu there, just having a bit of a conversation with Graham after that try was scored. Scotland have to now reset their mind. Yeehaw, says Sham. Inside of their own 22 Ireland, Jameson Gibson Park rolling this one back. And come on and win Scotland, says Annie. It's now kicked downfield and does go into touch. Come on, Ireland. Line out here for Scotland, about 45. Oh no, only about 42 out. Not as many metres on that kick as they did anticipate. Currently live standings. It would mean that Ireland are sitting top of the Six Nations with 18 points. Of course, that can change every 5 seconds throughout this competition, so we'll wait until the halftime break to really start updating that. Hugh Jones tackled round halfway by McCluskey. Ben White cross to Matt Fagerson. Pressure on him by Gary Ringrose. Ball was out, although no, referee now changes his mind. And the penalty awarded to Scotland. Is it going to be another crazy Six Nations day? No. It's going to be mental, said Mario. I mean, just based off how this game has started, we're in for an absolutely insane contest. And the fact that we've still got Wales versus Italy, as well as France versus England around the corner, is just a bit crazy, really. Tuning in from Massachusetts. And also we have got the Koi Big, says Mary, but Finn Russell kicks this one into touch, gets quite a hefty amount of metres on it. Scotland by 13, England by 2-9, Italy by 10, says Mike. Well, see, Scotland by 13 is a big old call, isn't it? Okay, so initially he was onside Caelan Doris, but what he did was kick the ball out of the hands of the Scottish halfback, and that is why they were awarded the penalty here. Scotland, possession 64% in favour of the Scots, 59% territory also in their favour. The scoreboard is in favour of the Irish. So a bit more work to do here for Scotland. Thrown in, Grant Gilchrist takes it at line-out time. Looping around was George Turner. Deceptive speed for the Scottish hooker. White goes up to Dash. Tackled by his opposite number in Van der Flair. A bit of a limp here for, I think that is George Turner. Currently struggling with his leg. They've got the option off of the bench, Scotland, of Ewan Ashman, but this would be much earlier. Then they want to make the change. Ben White sniping run round the side. Darge almost held up by the Irish defence. Was it called as a maul by Luke Pearce? No. Play on now. Xander Fagerson, 2 metres short. Scotland, they've been impressive with their phase play throughout this contest so far. Looking to fire straight back with the try of their own only a few minutes after Sheehan scored. Now Grant Gilchrist shoulder to shoulder with Jack Conan. Pierre Skurman. McCluskey though onto the ball. Can't quite get himself the steal. Numbers here on the left-hand side for Scotland. I think that Crowley realised it as he calls through a few more men to go to the near side. Grant Gilchrist. Tackled again. Plenty of phases here for Ireland. Yet again. 10 metres out, Xander Fagerson goes to Russell. That one wasn't knocked on in the tackle. Referee says play on. Ringrose offload up to Conan. Counter-attack now for the Irish, 22 metres out from the line. I'm Irish, watching from Mexico. Thanks for streaming. Says, given no worries at all. We've still got plenty more coming up in the Six Nations. Wales versus Italy, just around the corner. Kick downfield from Crowley. Finds a lot of open space and it rolls into touch. That is potentially the best kick possible for Crowley there. And that is going to be a frustrating moment for the Scottish. Just in the process of getting tackled by McCluskey. Russell was asking for the deliberate knockdown now. They tried to go quickly, but referee blows his whistle. And I think it's going to be a free kick here. Make sure they're not scrapping over here is the comment there from Luke Pearce. Okay, the line out was formed, which means that Scotland can't take it quickly. Where to watch live, says Jonathan. For us here in New Zealand, it's on Sky Sport 1. SG4, is it? S4G? Something like that. I think it's the Welsh option or the Irish option. Scotland by 13, and they haven't beaten us at home for 16 years. Are you feeling okay? Says Barry, well, England had never been beaten by Italy last week, and that happened. So it's very hard to tell. Yeah, the Irish, they have got a decent record at the Aviva for this season, or this competition of the Six Nations, winning both of their games. That turned into a rolling maul. Ball's not going to come out there by the looks of it. Accepting defeat was Ben White, and it will now be the scrum feed for the Irish. McCarthy right in the middle of it. And hopefully Bundy gets some playtime. Welcome back, Ireland. Says Mary, making his way off of the bench in this contest for Bundy Archie. Although I don't know if he'll go on for McCluskey unless it's injury related, because that man is having a Six Nations of dreams the way that he has been playing. Scrum feed for Ireland. 17 minutes through in this matchup. And scuffles on the sideline, says JD. Sun has come out in Ireland. We did see a game sunny for the Fijian Roar versus Brumbies. By halftime, it was absolutely pouring down. Hopefully that's not going to be the case here. See a good dry game of rugby being played, as we've already seen 3 tries throughout the first 17 minutes. Jamison gives him Park to feed the scrum. That nasty cut on the leg still has it heavily strapped. And McCluskey, after taking the free kick there for Ireland, couple extra metres past Tui Pelotu. Gives him Park, skipping a couple of the forwards, getting it off to Doris. It's close to the far touchline. Oh, okay, Turner's not good here. He had a leg injury earlier on. Now I think he's taken a knock to the head. He's going to be done here for this game. He will not be able to continue, and we will see Ewan Ashman make his way onto the field early. Hamish could wear a welding helmet. Or if you wore a welding helmet, you could watch the game looking at the reflection of his helmet. And Mundy brought in for a farewell turn. And give you lads commentary, great commentary, Mr. Hamish. Says JD, thank you very much. But yeah, it looks like Turner, not only has he had a bit of a leg injury earlier on, but he's taken a bit of a nasty knock to the nose. And busy weekend for you, mate. Hours of rugby, says JD. It certainly is. We've got this game, then the 2 Six Nations games after that. We've got a Super Rugby game tomorrow afternoon. T20 match between New Zealand and South Africa tomorrow night. And then an all-nighter with the Sevens that has currently taken place. Great Britain leading over Spain. 14 points to 7 currently. But Turner's going to go off for this HIA. We're going to see it here. Oh, it's the collision with his own teammate's head. And it looks like it's Max Williamson who has knocked Turner's nose a little bit wonky. His nose bleeding, or you think he is milking for a penalty? He's definitely not milking it because it was his teammate who hit him. So, that would be next level of low IQ if you were trying to milk a penalty from your own teammate hitting you. Hasn't been done before, probably accidentally, but I don't think on purpose. We can watch live on your websites. I'm in the US. Your best bet would be to go on the Six Nations website, as they normally do have a section of where to watch, and depending on the country that you're in. Mundy, Munster legend, says Sham. And Bundy brought in for a farewell turn. And Hamish, why did the Red Hot Chili Peppers cross the road? Uh-oh. Why? Damo. Scrum feed here for Ireland with Jamison Gibson Park again. Put this ball in. Front rows have collapsed, and scrum reset is the call from Luke Pearce. Anyone know anything about Jagu eye gouge decision? Sounds like he's getting 4 weeks as his suspension, or was it 6 weeks? It was either 4 or 6, but a little bit lower than people anticipated. Bloodgate back in the day when Quinn's against Leinster, and Jagu got 2 weeks. Wait, did he only get 2 weeks? I thought he got 4. Now another scrum reset. It's probably the biggest break that these two sides have actually experienced throughout this contest up till this stage. It has been a very fast start. Try number 3. See, here's Barry there. I hope you aren't spoiling what's happening. Although I assume John's just helped as well. Now getting ready to pass this one away to the right-hand side. Gibson Park goes to Crowley. Now passing on one more on the outside. Robert Ballacoon running towards the corner. Showing pace. Getting around Graham. And finishing it off with his legs in the air to stop himself from going into touch. To get to the other side. Says Dame, see match a nice right there. You're brilliant at commentating, says Marion. Only 2, another biased decision. Says Jamie. That was Joe. That is going to be the 3rd try of the contest for the Irish. Robert Ballacoon scores it in the corner. Now puts Ireland only 1 try away from their bonus point. Oh, they're just checking to see if he did go into touch. I actually thought he did well to keep his legs off of the ground. Going to see the replay now. Nah, he's fine. Absolutely fine finish from Robert Ballacoon. And good work, mate. And get an Ireland, says RG. And coming Hamish. And also, the question as far as the answer I give up, says Mario. And this one's going to just miss away to the right-hand side for Crowley. Keeping the score at 19 points to 7. I will mention anyone who is ahead, it is greatly appreciated if you try to avoid the spoilers up until we have reacted to it, just so that everyone in the chat can have that slightly same experience, or else it does mean that I have to read less chat as a whole, unfortunately. But it's a great finish. 20 minutes into this game, 3 tries for the Irish. Now they are chasing that bonus point. We'll put a little bit of pressure on the French to have to do more than just a draw up against the English. And you see about 15 players, even the reserves were all on the field celebrating that one with Robert Ballacoon, but taken by McCluskey inside of the 22. Fantastic commentary, says Rock and Meat. Now rolling this one back for Jamison Gibson Park. As Hamish Craig is back from St. Francis Bay, Eastern Cape, South Africa, says Craig. This one's not going to find touch. Knocked on from Jimmy O'Brien. Now Scotland with the counter-attacking chance. And can't the French draw with a bonus point and still win? Technically, yeah. Although I'd like to think that if they had a draw, it would be a lower scoring one between France and England. But you are correct. They could get 3 points from a draw, theoretically. But now another line out here. I can't see anything. You are my eyes and Ivan's just ears. Or I am just ears, says Sock. And Crowley misses another one. It's only his first miss of the day, though. So I guess another one in terms of the whole Six Nations, but everyone's missed at least one kick in this competition. Caelan Doris, dragged down 30 metres out from the line, get the bonus point Ireland. Says Mary. Now Jamison Gibson Park, boots high again. Robert Ballacoon going up for it, but beautifully taken by Kyle Stain under the high ball. Now Ben White, one of the Irish players a little bit slow, Scottish players slow to get back. I think that was Rory Darge, who does now join back up with the attacking line. Sione Tuipulotu trying to sneak through, but Sheehan gets him around the bootlaces. White going to Russell, tries to kick, charged down by Ireland, picked up by Ben White. McCluskey all over them in the early stages of this match. Scotland do their talking in the press. Meanwhile, we're just doing our talking on the pitch. I mean, to be fair, Scotland were sitting first in the overall Six Nations, second in the overall standing. So they've done plenty of talking on the field as well throughout this competition, including wins over the French, the English, and also the Welsh. Ben White kicking this one downfield. A mistake was Jamie Osborne. Happy Rugby Games Week, says Giancarlo. Yeah, there are plenty of matches still taking place in the near future. Definitely for the Six Nations comp, 2 more remaining. Great match so far. It's been a brilliant back and forth between the sides. Aerial challenge there comes off Kinghorn. Will be now the Irish who can take the line out. We're as great here, Ireland. We're not used to that here. Angry. We have also got the by Hamish Coffee, you folk. He deserves it or a beer, says Sham. Dan Sheehan. Line out here around halfway. Conversation there between Tom O'Toole and Dan Sheehan. Both sides have got 100% line out accuracy at this stage of the contest. And that will continue for the Irish as they win their 4th through the hands of Tyke Byrne. Kicked high from Crowley. Chasing after this one, running it sideways. Jimmy O'Brien just, I believe, knocked it on. No referee said he regathered just before hitting the turf. So the ball's still on the side of the Irish. Scotch is a drink, says Martin. That is correct. And we have got, it comes to playing us. Hampshire every year is the same. They talk and we beat them, says Barry. Going off to the right-hand side, Crowley, inside pass to Jimmy O'Brien. Now Doris, the captain, will be more than happy with how they have started in this matchup. Jamison Gibson Park again left. McCarthy links up with Crowley. Looping around was Jamie Osborne. He's already scored himself a try in this matchup. And come on, Ireland, says Vincent. Now, what part of Boston? I am in Massachusetts, as Scots are the people. I'm once again confused, Martin. Do you think I said Scotch at some point rather than Scottish or Scots? Maybe. Then that's where the confusion's coming from. I don't think I've called them Scotch. I know some Scottish love to drink, but I don't think we've called them a type of alcohol as of yet. Now looping around there, Jimmy O'Brien, and it will be the penalty to Scotland. Bit of obstruction there. And come on, Ireland, get in there. Scotland, the most consistently inconsistent team. I don't know about that. I think that Argentina probably take out that moniker, but at the same time, they're not doing too badly currently, consistency-wise, for the Argentines throughout the last couple of years. I'm on a bus from Boston to New York City, watching on my laptop. Thanks for doing this. Says MBMC Hugh, or MB McHugh, I believe that would be. No worries whatsoever. Now, nice run there from Ireland around the halfway line after Scotland missed the touchline. Now, Caelan Doris tackled on the halfway line once again. He's drunk on vodka, says Sock. And can anyone name the Ireland versus Scotland trophy also being played for today? Someone mentioned it earlier on, but I can't remember the name of it, unfortunately. Scotland and Obstruction, name a better duo. Now, Gibson Park puts this ball high again. And a great take under the ball from Blair Kinghorn. Offloads back to Ewan Ashman. I don't think we're going to see Turner returning in this match. It was written by an uneducated man or woman. says, man, you also got to remember autocorrect's a thing, don't you? So, like, there was possibly a chance that they meant something else and it got corrected. So, like, maybe don't be so quick to judge. We have good there. G'day, mate. Good to flame and see you. Says Jason, welcome in. Kicked high from Ben White. Darcy Graham. Take there from Crowley, looking straight into the sun. Manages to control it again for the home side. 26 minutes through. I can't believe how quickly this game's going. Irishman listening in on a night shift in Papua New Guinea. Come on, Ireland, says Tiger. That is going to be the penalty to Scotland and off the feet from the Irish. Stop the chance of a Scottish contest in the breakdown. Amory on Monday, says Ronnie. Who are you bringing him on for, though, in this case? Because I don't think you take off McCluskey because he's been one of the busier players out there on the field currently. Rory Darge, giving him credit for putting on the pressure in the breakdown here. Just saw the opportunity to pounce and then straight in through the side for Tom O'Toole. And at the like button now, says Phoenix there. And Scotland struggling without ref's help. Says Max P. Is that a reference to the Scotland-France game, or what game are you referring to there? Scotland is most unlucky, not inconsistent. Any game where there is a crucial call affecting the result, it goes against them. And also, how the heck did France lose to the Scottish side? The lose was was a one-off for sure. They'll definitely hope it is, because or else then Ireland or Scotland would win the Six Nations competition. Ewan Ashman throws into the front. Blair Kinghorn was the man that they threw up for that line-out. That was interesting, and I don't think they'll do it again, because it looks like Ireland have managed to steal that ball back. I mean, innovation, maybe. When was the last time we've seen someone chuck up a fullback in a line-out, ladies and gentlemen? I can't think of the last time. That was obviously pre-planned, but sacked well by the Irish. They haven't done that throughout the Six Nations as of yet, have they, the Scottish team? I can't think of a time that I've seen that. Missed the Bulls game. What was the results? Bulls versus Stormers. Love from South Africa, says Franco. So in the end, the win for the Stormers, 32-19 at Loftus. And we have got there, didn't you just say the Scots like to drink? Says Ronald, and home advantage is so important in rugby more than football. What do you think, says Max? I mean, it certainly does help certain sides. We see Scotland are undefeated at Murrayfield for the Six Nations campaign. We have seen the Irish are undefeated at the Aviva throughout this campaign. We have seen France are undefeated in France throughout this campaign. So, yeah, home field advantage definitely does play a bit of factor in the Six Nations competition. I remember a team using a 15-man line-out. Can't remember which team, but it was pretty funny. I think that may have actually been the South African women's team. They used about a 14-woman line-out from memory. Was that the one you're thinking of? How's it, my brew? Or is it actually the full 15 went in? But I think that, yeah, South Africa were using a tactic of about 13 or 14 of their players would join their rolling maul throughout that last Women's World Cup. Okay, George Turner will not be back. He has failed the HIA. So unable to return in this match. So Ashman will now be expected to put in a 60-minute performance here. Gives him Park. Currently 7 metres out from his own goal line. It does just decide to look for the touch. As always, cards will play a role in the outcome of the game. How many times have the Irish won the Six Nations? Says Mary. It's been a couple years, hasn't it? I think Ireland's last Six Nations win, I want to say, was 2020. Was it 2023, 2024? Last time Ireland got themselves the victory. Currently, the way as it stands, Ireland would be sitting at the top of the table on the 18 points. In White. There's a way to the left-hand side. Russell to Tui Pelotu. Let's go. Try and run straight over the top of Crowley. Now White gets the breakdown quickly. Ferguson, now Russell. Chipping behind. 3 Scots chasing after it all. It comes off the boot of Osborne. Or no, in fact, it was Jimmy O'Brien there. I think it was on purpose that he put that one into touch. Hamish, what's your prediction, says Brian? I actually did a prediction on my preview, but I can't remember what I said. But I did go with Ireland as the winners here, just because of that home field advantage, plus expecting a big performance from them at the Aviva. I will YouTube that 50-man line-out later, says Max P. The 50-man line-out was Wales against New Zealand, says Ronald there. And Paul Ball seems like their glory years are behind them, says Xander. well, they were on a winning streak up until that contest, but has, of course, been lost now. I mentioned for the sevens as well, New York, Spain were able to beat Great Britain 24-14 for anyone who is looking for updates on the overall seven circuit. Now moving away to the right-hand side, Tui Pelotu. 15 metres out, Ben White. Oh, has to fight for that ball in the breakdown. It seems like Ireland calling the shots here so far, and the penalty for the Irish as well. Tyg Furlong loving it at this point in time. Knowing that they are getting quite a few calls in those breakdowns, being able to be physical up front, and Tyg burned this time. It was just that extra roll from Xander Fagerson. And Furlong, it was actually Byrne who was celebrating it by slapping Fagerson while he was on the ground and staying having a quiet game. Yeah, they haven't really been able to get him out or get it out to him as of yet in this contest, it seems. And the ball's been off and on for a while. Come on, Ireland, kick ahead, any head. Says Healy. Dan Sheehan now line out chance here for the Irish when Furlong takes the gum shield out. Says Brian. Now line out is set. And it looks like the middle will be the target of Joe McCarthy. Been claimed by Ireland once more. McCluskey. You know, he's always going to make you at least a couple metres when he gets the ball in hand. And come on, Scotland. Gibson Park. Way to the left. McCluskey. Passes on to Doris. Haven't actually been that many handling errors from these two sides throughout the early stages of the match. Normally it's the aerial challenge where we're seeing a little bit more 50-50 in terms of whether that ball is taken or dropped. But as a whole, some really good phase play by both sides, and it's more so been that discipline and the breakdown that we've seen as more of the stoppages. That one kicked him behind by Crowley, cleaned up by Blair Kinghorn. Missed tackle there from Ringrose, who was flying up to make the quick fire tackle. Xander Fagerson, tackled by Doris again. A no poll to vote. There is normally a poll. The poll is still going. Currently 50% for Ireland, 45% for Scotland in terms of the poll odds currently. Now rolling this one back. Ben White. And Ireland third try looked so forward. Says Demon the 11th. Across to Finn Russell. Two men on the outside. Thought about the short little ball, and I don't know what happened there. I don't know whether there was a brushing of an Irish player, but Russell not throwing the best pass. Now pressure in the breakdown. Fagerson going across to Pierre Schoolman. Ireland teamwork, go on, says Mary. And box. Yeah, we've hit that patch of the game where there are a lot more box kicks coming. Didn't see as much of that throughout the first kind of 20 minutes or so. Ben White told to use it again. Passes across to Russell rather than going for the up and under. Now Hugh Jones, the outside. Dempsey, forward pass there from Scotland. As Ireland get themselves the scrum feed again. We are closing in on that halftime break. Already 34 minutes down in this first half. Six Nations, it is going to be over before we know it. But yeah, we just see it there, that Russell. It was a slight brush from Josh van der Fleer to force the handling error. And then the forward pass out wide didn't help the Scottish either. Not hearing much about Scotland, to be honest, except for that. Yeah, they haven't had a huge amount of possession throughout this last little while, and most of the time, it's just been those kicks downfield that they've been trying to get going. The future pass, or into the future pass, says Brian. How's the possession stats? Scotland, after the first about 15 minutes, had 60% possession, but I believe that has gone back to more 50-50 now. See there, that's old Cian Healy in the stands watching on for this game. And game being slow last 10 minutes, says Southkid. Yeah, it's as if both of these sides went out of the gates absolutely firing, then realised this game is more of a marathon than a sprint, and just kind of slowed down the tempo. And yeah, I don't think anyone's going to take any huge risks now. I feel like we're set enough in this game that Ireland know that they only need one more for the bonus point, and as long as they don't concede, they should go on to win this game. Scotland forward pass. But Ireland get away with a forward pass in their third try. Says Demon the 11th. Gibson Park now to feed this ball in again for Ireland. Been a few more scrums throughout the last little while, ever since I said that the handling had been all right. Now Gibson Park goes to Crowley, cross to Robert Ballacoon, manages to slap it backwards. Darcy Graham then kicks it on. It's going to be a foot race between Ballacoon and also, it was Kinghorn who wasn't quite able to get the bounce on the ball. And Josh van der Fleer getting back efficiently. The fact that he is one of the first men there. You see how quick that number 7 can be. The commentators on Ireland of Virgin Media, or in Ireland on Virgin Media, it's like listening to idiots. The sooner you get the commentator's job, the better. Go Ireland, says David. You'd assume that they would have a little bit of, I guess, loyalty to the Irish in terms of their commentary as well. They would be mainly going for them. That was a good clearing kick from Jamieson Gibson Park. Ballacoon just limping a little bit there. But the bounce of the ball, if it had gone the other way for Kinghorn, he could have been through and gone. Ballacoon did just enough to be able to put that pressure on, give his teammates time to be able to retreat and grab that position. Come on, Scotland, says Ian. It's like Joe McCarthy now. Bit of a rest here while he gets his ankle dealt with. And Droy has improved this season, says Given. Yeah, on a 2-match winning streak. At the moment, tackles made. 80 by Ireland throughout the first half. 72 by Scotland. So both of these sides are certainly going to be feeling it later on in the matchup. And that is probably why we have seen the tempo drop that little bit. Irish commentator is one-eyed, full of moans as well. Says I Lollipop, and also your man here is brilliant at commentary. Says Mary. Right, looks like McCarthy's now going to be all right to continue. I assume it was his foot that was the problem, although he doesn't seem to be limping at all here. It is now going to be play on. Come on, Ireland. Here's Brian. Line out throw for Ewan Ashman. Goes to the front. Contested line out. Bounces back on the side of the Irish. That's a deliberate knockdown. Penalty awarded against Grant Gilchrist. Gibson Park wanted to take quickly. Now it's being told no. See, that's another one where the bounce of the ball just didn't quite go the way that Scotland would have liked. They won the line out, but then the ball bounces on their side and just shoots towards the Irish. And then the mistake of Grant Gilchrist. If Ireland does win it, does that, or if Ireland win, does it mean that France win the Six Nations? Or will win the Six Nations? They've got a much better chance, as they would only need just a regular win over England rather than chasing a bonus point or anything along those lines. A draw without a bonus point wouldn't be enough for the French, though, so they would still need a victory. If they were to lose to England, then it would be Ireland who take out the Six Nations competition. Dan Sheehan throws it in, taken by Tyke Byrne. Gibson Park now, Crowley. Quick hands, McCluskey bumps off Sione Tuipulotu and also makes an extra 5 metres. Tuipulotu straight back in the breakdown, trying to right those wrongs. But Ireland, good defence in the breakdowns to keep the possession. Now McCarthy's running sideways. Not making a massive amount of metres there in the process. Are you welcome to Ireland anytime, mate? Brilliant commentary, says Matthew. Thank you very much. I would love to go to Ireland one day. I feel like there are a lot of countries that I'd like to tick off on a list. Currently, I've only been to Australia and Indonesia. But we have to try and travel a little bit further in the future as well. Crowley, cross kick. That's going to go into touch, though. It's got a little bit too much juice on it for Crowley. We all want a McCluskey try. Are you welcome? Says, oh no, I read that one from Matthew. And lead boot, says Joey. You see it there, though. They're just going to show that run from McCluskey just bumping off Tuipulotu as well as Ewan Ashman initially. By Indonesia, you mean Bali? Correct, yes. We have got their Ireland win 53 points to 17. The Scotland side win against France last week was a one-off. So here's them in the 11th. Although, would you say it's a 2-off because they also managed to beat the English? Maybe a 3-off because they also beat the Welsh? And make sure you go to Galway, says Mary. And Hamish have to leave the screen because my battery is flat. And come on, Scotland, says Charlie. And Hamish not been down under yet. If you're talking about Australia, then yes, I have been to Australia a few times. Ewan Ashman, he is the replacement hooker, and he was staying down with a bit of an injury there too. That is a concern for the Scottish, as if they lose him, I believe we get to uncontested scrums, which would be a pretty weird scenario to be in. Although if it's a concussion for Ashman, I believe it would be uncontested scrums, but they don't lose a player. Is that the way that it works, ladies and gentlemen? If the second player is an HIA-related incident, and so is the first. Now, rolling this one back. I've only been to Australia over 40 years ago and Fiji over 20 years ago. Says Jasmine. What happened to Turner? He did end up, first of all, he had a bit of a limp, but then took a nasty knock on the nose from one of his teammates. Balakoon takes the high ball, 45 metres out from the line now for Ireland. And yes, Scotland are cooked. And I like New Zealand, by the way, says Shammer. There is a knock on from the Irish. 2 minutes remaining in this first half, and Scotland will have themselves the scrum feed. So yeah, it was a great take from Robert Balakoon initially. Did well to stay in the field of play. That was down to the assistance of Tyg Furlong. Then just that little bit of pressure in the breakdown, McCarthy ended up forcing the knock on. Hello from Leeds in the UK, says Brendan there. Seems like they've got a lot of Europe covered, which is fantastic to see. And coming Ireland, says Chris. Just the 1 minute remaining on the clock. Fishing Lodge, Northern Canada. Up to Scott, says Flycaster. A fishing lodge. That's a big fish you got in your picture too. What's the size of that thing? It's a huge... It's an even bigger fish the more you look at it. We have got the hello from Perth, Australia. Says Charlie. Oh, free kick awarded to the Scottish. 50 seconds remaining. What type of fish was that? Flycaster, do let me know. Knock on there from Scotland. It's a mistake coming straight afterwards. And Ireland get themselves the scrum. Chris O'Hogan. Or Hagen, sorry, has said thanks, bro. No worries at all. And hello from Utrecht, the Netherlands. Says Fraser. So another country in Europe covered. We see it now, though. Tuipulotu, it was the bounce pass from Hugh Jones. That didn't quite find the grasp of the hands of Tuipulotu. You should go to Wexford, Waterford, Cork, Kerry, Galway, Mayo, Donegal, Giants, Causeway, finally Dublin. That's a long trip. But I guess you probably cover them relatively quickly. They're not miles apart, are they? In terms of some of the regions in Ireland. Hydrate halftime, says Mary. Now for Ireland. Will they boot this ball into touch and accept a 12-point lead? Or are they going to go for another attack? It looks like the second is the option. McCluskey pops it on the outside to Crowley. Now O'Brien. In fact, that time it is Osborne. Scotland told to get out of that breakdown. Knock on from Conan. And that will be the end of the first half. And they scored 19 points to the 7. It's been an eventful one. A lot of those tries scored within the first. In fact, all of them scored within the first 20 minutes. Hello from Toronto, Canada. And watching from Barcelona, says Mike there, but he is going for the Irish. Or are you from yourself? I'm from New Zealand, so it's currently 4 a.m. here. And we've still got, how many more games? We've got 2 more games of the Six Nations. Super Rugby tomorrow. T20 T20 matchup between New Zealand and South Africa. And then all of the sevens throughout the next day too. So my sleep schedule was well and truly broken. I think there was some raindrops on that camera. I think we've literally gone from the sun to maybe a bit of rain at the Aviva before halftime. And I Hamish all the way from Madeira Island. Come on, Scotland, says Jose. And Scotland on and off, says agreement. In there too, but currently down by 12 in this matchup for Scotland. Heading into the halftime break. I just want to have a quick look for Scotland and see what the biggest margin they were down by up against France was throughout that game. There was a time where they were down 14-7. I think that was the most one-sided that the scoreline sat between those two sides. Does mean that maybe a Scottish comeback is not off the cards, but I do think that Ireland definitely getting themselves a bonus point from this game, just needing the one more. The big Les show big in New Zealand too. I think it was ages ago. We used to see it at high school a bit, but outside of that, not that much recently that I've seen. Raining again in Wales. Weather has no clue. It had snow yesterday and a super deep fog last week. And thoughts on the Hurricanes being top of the Super Rugby ladder? They're doing all right, the Canes. They'll be disappointed with the fact that they did lose that matchup against the Fijian Roar in Fiji. Although it seems like they are not the only side. Just ask the Brumbies. And isn't it crazy to think the Fijian Draw, when you really think about it, they've beaten the top 2 sides in the overall standings. They've won both of them. Love your work and dedication, mate. Cheers, PJ. And yeah, we've still got plenty more to come. And Scotland mentally had a block against us. Says Barry. Do you like fish and chips? I actually had fish and chips yesterday. And it was very nice. So yeah, do like myself some fish and chips. Or fish and chips, as people think we say it. McCluskey, man of the match so far. He's been impressive once more out there on the field for the Irish. Those carries that he's been putting together, some great defensive work there too. Got it from Herb, living in Donegal, Ireland, originated from Taranaki. Oh, nice. So what brought you to Ireland? Just work, or just decided that you wanted to head up north? And I should mention Sevens updates, because I know that some people were curious about the New York Sevens competition. At this point in time, the score between France and Australia is currently 17-0 in favour of the Aussies. That's actually a much better result than people would have been anticipating for that Aussie side. Or in fact, 19-0. Mushy peas with fish and chips, Hamish. We don't really have that here. I don't think anywhere that I can think of does mushy peas with their fish and chips. The weather, says Sham. The weather started off sunny. I think it's now trying to rain during the halftime break. Apocalypse starting in Wales. Breaking news, says Joey. And also we have got there, Scotland needs to keep playing running ball and stop kicking it away, says Claus. Yeah, they were much more dangerous in that first 20 or so minutes before they went to that box kick tactic. But I think they're still close enough in this game. There's a chance of a turnover or a big moment in the second half that then gives them a great attacking chance. Come on, Scotland. Made some good money off you last weekend. Don't let me down this week, says Mike there. I put that in your sporin. A result of Blitzbox versus All Blacks Sevens hasn't happened yet. Kicking off in the very near future. Like, we're talking about 4 minutes away from that game starting up. But as soon as it does happen, of course, I will keep you updated about what is happening there. It's Ireland. We don't call March of many weathers for nothing. And above all day, says Mary there. I'll love to stay up for the rest of the match. It's tough in the Southern Hemisphere, says Brian. Yeah, you got to be willing to sacrifice a whole night of sleep pretty much to be able to watch these ones. Like I mentioned, the next game that is coming up on the channel will be the match between Wales and also the Italians. That one kicking off, I want to say it's 5:40 New Zealand time that one is happening. I'll just get some confirmation. I should know this. I believe it's 5:40. Yes, it is. So we are starting that live stream at 5:30 a.m. New Zealand time. And then from there, we've still got plenty more action after that with the big match, France versus England. We will know exactly what is required for the French to win the Six Nations when we get to that stage. But still a little way away. Another 5 hours or so for the start of their matchup. 1 second, I'm about to sneeze, so I'll very quickly mute and hide off to the side. 1 second. We are good. Only a couple sneezes, which is nice news. We haven't had too much hay fever here in New Zealand as of late, although we had some weird weather as well. We have got that 4:40 p.m. in the UK time, says Maddie. In the box in the All Blacks, watching these guys playing for third place in the world rankings, says Mike. Although I still think that there'll be a lot of analysation going on from New Zealand and South Africa. All Blacks Sevens coming up versus South Africa Sevens. Yeah, they are only about a minute away. But Australia having a very comfortable win over France in the group stage. Fiji losing their first contest. That is definitely not what was on the cards for this Fijian side. And Spain beating Great Britain. New Zealand need to get some proper clocks that work, says Eric. And without an Irish Grand Slam, the best Six Nations so far, says Brian. Yeah, it's been an incredible competition. And the fact that there is still so much more to come, Boxer obsessed with the world rankings, says Barry. What we will quickly do, ladies and gents, these games will affect the world rankings when it comes to November and also July. 3 matches for the Irish. They will be going up against Australia, Japan and New Zealand. Then, in those matches taking place in November, it is up against Argentina, Fiji, and that game that is slightly hiding 254 days away, that is up against South Africa. Will definitely be a must-see contest there. In terms of Scotland and what they have got coming up in the near future, they have got 112 days now until their game up against the Scottish, and then, up against the Argentines, also playing South Africa and Fiji. Those are their away games, and then the home games, New Zealand, Australia, and Japan, taking place in November. Those are the next times that we get to see the Irish and the Scottish teams in action. So we way in the future, unfortunately, about 4 months or so. Still plenty of excitement to come here for this game, as well as the upcoming matches of the Six Nations. But Australia, they are beating France 24-0 in the Sevens. Ladies and gents, we have also got day 2 coming up on the channel, and we will be covering that side of things as well. Anyone who is new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. But predictions, ladies and gents. Wales versus Italy, as well as France versus England. What are the score predictions for those games that are happening just around the corner, ladies and gents? Do let me know. A nice says in there as well. Second, we'll go like this, and we will go like that as well. Whereas Van der Merwe not playing. Kyle Steyn kind of played him out of a Scottish kit. He's been phenomenal throughout this competition, Kyle Steyn, and Van der Merwe was slightly out of form heading into the Six Nations. So, yeah, they actually opted to go with the Steyn option rather than Van der Merwe, which I don't think's been a bad choice as a whole, although they don't quite have that same power game of Duhan van der Merwe with the selection that has been made. And Wales 21, Italy 17. Says Angela there. Looks like at the moment Australia, they are still playing France in the sevens. New Zealand versus the South Africans just about to kick off. Is in a van having a mare? In a van having a mare. What does that mean? I know that having like a mare is having like a shocker here in New Zealand. The Scots don't make mistakes. They could be in for a hiding, which I don't want to see. Says Dennis. Well, the thing is, if Scotland win this game and Ireland don't receive any bonus points, there is still a chance that Italy could finish as high as third in the overall Six Nations standings. But the chance of that happening seems relatively slim with the fact that they would only need one more. Wales are playing okay, but so is Italy. That's what makes it quite an intriguing game between those two sides. And honestly, I hope it is a close one. I think back to that Six Nations competition in 2024. The last round of it was absolutely incredible. In terms of the results, we saw Wales play Italy 24 points to 21 in favour of the Italians. We saw Ireland versus Scotland. That was 17-13 in favour of the Irish. And then France versus England was 33-31 in favour of the French. So all three games separated by 5 or less points. So, you know, that happening again would be ideal. But for that to happen, Scotland do need a big second half in this match too. And yeah, it just spices it up a bit. Love the Six Nations, says Mike. Yeah, this has been an incredible competition so far. The upsets that we've seen, the brilliant performances from individuals as well as sides. It's a shame that we have to wait another, probably 11 and a half or 10 and a half months before we get to see it again. What did you think of India thrashing over New Zealand in a T20 World Cup final? Wasn't ideal, was it, for the Kiwis? But honestly, like, people have said, what if they selected this player? What if they batted first? I think either way they were getting beaten in that one. Donate a few bucks, folks. The guy's great and certainly deserves it, says Sham. Scotland are doing well considering half their team are injured, says Charlie. Although this isn't too much of a different side from what we saw last week, is it, as a whole? And Kyle Steyn, the fact that he was playing in this game rather than out with an injury was absolutely incredible, as he looked certain to be injured from that last match. What if Wales beat Italy? They will still finish last in the Six Nations standings, but it could happen at the end of the day. The Principality, I feel like for Wales rugby's sake, they do need the victory. There's all this talk about Georgia potentially joining the Six Nations, although the recent news that was breaking out of Georgia says that they've got plenty on their cards, plenty to handle at the moment anyway. Whenever I find a whiskey, I like a year later, it's bad, says Joey. And also Italy by a few, France by a cricket score. Do you think the Scots will do something that is in this game, or is Ireland unplayable? I wouldn't call Ireland unplayable here. I think that Scotland have had their chances. They just have been a little bit out-muscled in the breakdowns, I would say. We haven't seen it as confident as we'd normally see from Scotland. That game last week up against the French, they were throwing the body on the line, trying their best to get those turnovers. They have had a few penalties against them in this game, which maybe has made them slightly more hesitant to try and go for those steals, but they have to be willing to take a risk here, Scotland, if they want to go on and win this game. But it's how much risk compared to reward is going to be on offer. I think there was talk of a Seven Nations with South Africa, but I don't think that would be a good idea. I don't think it was ever going to come to tuition. Like, that was like something that it seemed like a lot of this, well, in fact, all the Six Nations teams I think were against it, and South Africa relatively was as well. I think it was more so the fans who were hoping to see something like that. Do Kiwis think their boys will win the Six Nations if they were in it? I don't think New Zealand would probably win a few of their games in the Six Nations based off current form. There'd be some who say that they go up there and they breeze it, but then you look at previous results, and New Zealand lose to France on a regular occasion, they lose to England on a regular occasion, and they have lost to Ireland a couple times in recent succession. So, it's definitely no guarantee that New Zealand would do well. I think that they'd be up there, and if they, have home games, it would help out as well, but it's a long way to travel for that to take place. I got a feeling England are going to turn the tables today. Says, is that Mumbo Jumbo Kiwi who's changed his name, maybe? And Ireland were on the back of the Lions tour. The start was not ideal, says Brian, and looking well, Hamish, naturally. As Irish supporter, I'm happy with the first half. So a long game left, though. Yeah, 40 minutes is a long time and can definitely all change things in an instance if the Georgians got into rugby seriousness. I think it could be a problem. You've seen the size of them. Yeah, although that comment about the size of them probably not the best time one with what's broken recently about this Georgian side having about 6 players all up for steroid use or enhancing drugs. So that might explain why some of them are big units, but some of them who are natural are, of course, also very large. No South African fans don't want to join the Six Nations. We love the Rugby Championship. I miss being part of Super Rugby, says Mike. Do you think Scotland's slack in the last quarter in general? Yeah, that has been one part of their game that has been a bit of a struggle for the Scottish, is the fact that they do drop off in the later moments of a game and sometimes let their opposition straight back into the contest. But both sides just making their way back out onto the field now. I will mention South Africa versus the All Black Sevens at the moment is 5-0 in favour of the South Africans. We have got there, so South African fans keep saying the Six Nations is kind of bad, then why don't they join the Six Nations? Says Dennis. You've been in the thrashing. You gave South Africa in the semi-final. It was Finn Allen to score the fastest 100 against us. Says Mornay. Yeah. So New Zealand played their final in the semi is pretty much what you've said there, and I would agree. That's mental about the players on roid, says Maddie. What are the permutations if Ireland win the match? So Ireland would need France to either draw without a bonus point, or they would need the English to win. So we'll go like this. There we go. So this is the way that the table sits currently, ladies and gentlemen. But at the end of this game, let's say Ireland win with a bonus point, would mean that they'll be 3 points ahead of the French. Still plenty that can happen throughout those last 2 games. Go on, Ireland. You're looking refreshed and cool in your white shirt. Smart pattern, says Ruth. Yeah, we did decide, I decided that I would slightly dress up for this round of the Six Nations, purely because I did say if it was close and that there was a chance of more than one side winning, that we would have to wear the shirt. 19 points to 7 now. And the second half kicking off between Ireland and Scotland here. A nice take from Jimmy O'Brien. Under pressure straight away from Scotland in the breakdown. Got 2 men in there, but not able to get the steal. Second half last 10, it came down to fitness and keeping the head, in my opinion, says Ronnie. And the flower of Scotland will start to wilt when Ireland turn up the heat in the second half. Gives them Park rolling this one back. Side of his 22, so can kick this one out on the full. And does just that. Kinghorn decides to use it quickly. Interesting that Scotland, a side that have been criticised for slowing down, would want to keep on flowing here at a quicker rate. Then taking the line out. Finn Russell tackled by Gibbs and Park, who almost managed to rip it straight off and knock on from Dempsey. And the ball taken back from Ireland. I'd be happy if Ireland won the Triple Crown. Huge ask that France don't win the Six Nations. Says 0. Ireland at the end of this game, of course, there will be that little bit of a secret support for England. Not many would mention it out loud. But, that would be what they would require. An English win in France to walk away with the title. In fact, both of these sides are in the same boat. Whoever wins this game has to rely on the English doing well. Xander Fagerson. Tackled here about 30 metres out from their goal line for the Scottish. And maybe the rugby grabbers do at headquarters, but not us real rugby fans. Who knows with the youth of today, says Mike. This one kicked up high. Balakoon trying to slap it back, and it's knocked on from Kyle Stain. Driven into touch, so it will be a scrum feed for the Irish. You're right, Hamish. That's exactly what I've said. Lee Split Box won last weekend in Vancouver. And yet with the Fijians losing their opening contest of the New York Sevens up against Argentina, there is a chance that Fiji could miss out on the semi-finals, in which case all South Africa would have to do is make it through, and they would book themselves a spot as Sevens champions. Wales to win next, says Ronald. And Scotland will have to dig deep now. I hope the coaching conversation in the locker room fired them up. Let's see some magic, Kyle Steyn. 38 minutes left. Still plenty of time on the clock. It's Wizzo clock. Come on, half-time, says Charlie. Gibson Park. I can imagine them playing him for about 70 minutes throughout this match, I would say. I don't think they'll go with any sort of big risky switches early on. They'll want him out there for as long as physically possible. Now, Gibson Park going off to the right. That's going to be knocked on by Doris. Daj manages to take it and clean it up. Bit of pressure in the breakdown from McCluskey, but it will be the penalty for the Scots. What do we need to happen for France not to win the Six Nations? The main gist of it is, no matter what happens in this game, if France lose to England, they cannot win the Six Nations comp unless Ireland weren't able to get themselves their fourth try here. Because then that would mean that they would still be on 18 points, and then if France were to lose by less than 7 and get a bonus point, they would still win the Six Nations. Isn't there any more sevens later on tonight that you're going to cover? Not really. The whole day pretty much overlaps with it, unfortunately. Rev needs to help England for them to win, says Joey. And AB7's not doing well. You're currently down 10-0 up against the Blitz box. Line out throw here. Ewan Ashman goes to the back. Nicely claimed by Matt Fagerson. Moving away to the left-hand side. Sione Tuipolotu. Scotland do need to be the first side to strike in the second half. Loose ball again. Picked up by Ben White, who is wrestled backwards by Joe McCarthy. No release from him, but he is going for a bit of a counter-ruck. It up Ashman. Come on the field early for George Turner, who was out with the concussion, or at least the HIA failure. Oh my, what happens if Wales win with a bonus point and England lose to France without a bonus point? Oh my. Wales would still finish below England. As England are on the 6 points. So unless we're talking about England losing by like 60 points or somewhere around there up against the French, as you can see, that points differential is going to put the English in that fifth place. Now left-hand side. Scotland, Kinghorn plays first receiver, goes across now to Finn Russell. Sione Tuipolotu tries to spin out of the challenger Ringrose. Now Fagerson. Going for the steal again in the breakdown. Ireland just working hard to get some sort of opportunity to rip that ball off the Scots. Now Russell goes to Kinghorn again. That's what happened before, just in a different order. A fly half fish. Then you're covering the sevens tomorrow. That is correct. Yes, so we will be doing a majority of the matches that we can squeeze in. I love Scotland to win this. They are the most underrated team around on a good day. They're one of the best. Last week proved that. Says Mike. And if they are able to score next, they are nowhere near out of this contest. But if Ireland score again, you'd have to say it would be close to over. Ball's there. Now sniping run from Ben White. Collides hard with Ringrose, who's been busy throughout the first 45. Xander Fagerson. Close to the turnover there for Ty Burney's on the ball. Ewan Ashman tried to take it back, but he's lost his footing. And now Ireland get themselves another breakdown turnover. Referee there, Luke Pearce, looked like he was wobbly. I think he ended up maybe getting his ankle stuck on the breakdown. England team are brain dead, not the chance to win. And France says Brian. And they'll definitely have to use different tactics than they used last week up against the Italians. If they do want a chance, Gibson Park. And kicking this one downfield. And a very nice clearing kick from him. Goes into the half of Scotland. They've done well again there for the Irish side. And their exits have been so, I guess, crucial in terms of Scottish territory. Throughout this matchup, they just find themselves getting driven further and further back. And they're being hammered by the sounds of it. Says Sham. Okay, referee has just said, please don't scream at me to one of the players. We saw a few penalties against the Bulls and the Stormers for that exact same thing, swearing at the referee. Now line out here for Ewan Ashman. Need to throw this one in. It's gone over the top in the middle. Ball bounces back onto the side of Scotland, who have got themselves the knock-on advantage. Kyle Steyn, what can he bring into this game? He was Mr. Impact last week. He hasn't had much of the ball throughout this one. Stormers' victory over the Bulls brings Stormers right back into contention. Yeah, the Stormers now sit second in the overall standings. Half time, Blitzbox 12, New Zealand 5. Says Bruce. Now Ben White. Going with the box kick. Kyle Steyn chasing after it. It's to play Robert Ballacoon. Maybe a little bit early on that one, but didn't hit him too hard. And Finn Flame and Russell. Says Jason. All there for Gibson Park to again look to kick this one downfield. And the thing is, Ireland are in a position here where they don't have to take too many risks. They only theoretically need one more try. That's a big knock on from Ballacoon and a bit of a counter-attack here for the Scottish. Darcy Graham managing to step around Ringrose, who almost ended up foot tripping him. Great run from Graham, breaking through 3 more. But Josh Van der Fleer right in the breakdown. They have to clean him out effectively. Now Skurman tackled by Joe McCarthy. Dempsey goes on the outside. Kinghorn now to Hugh Jones. Ireland have not missed many tackles. There was a stage earlier on where they had made 80 and they had only missed 7. They continue to tackle at around that 90%. The half for Scotland to break through. There is going to be the advantage now in favour of Scotland, though, for a high tackle. Darcy Graham dragged down by Shen. They'll go back for the penalty. And come on, Scotland. Let's go second half, says Elizabeth. And also Scottish can't string passes together, says Ruth. And come on, Scotland, you have this, says Mike. We see it there. It was just a little bit high from Doris on the tackle of Ewan Ashman. It doesn't sound like it's going to be anything more than just the penalty. Definitely not one that they would have wanted to give away there. Oh, okay. Live is still a penalty only. I thought for a second they were going to be checking to see whether or not that could have been upgraded. How's McCluskey performing? Once again, been one of the strongest players out there on the field for the Irish. He had some great runs, even managed to bump off Sione Tuipulotu, which not many men do get the opportunity to do. Penalties at the moment, 5 against Ireland, 4 against Scotland. New Zealand, 2 yellow cards. Yeah, so they're going to be in big trouble up against the Blitzbox by the sounds of it. We Darcy to score tries, please. Says JD. As a neutral, I want the Scots to win. How much do you rate Van der Fleer out of 10 for the first half? Man of the match contender, he's definitely up there. I think that currently for me, it's between him, McCluskey, and I'd probably throw Tyke Byrne in the mix too. A little bit, but maybe not as much as those other two. Time for Aki. Who are you bringing him on for? Are you bringing him on for Ringrose or are you bringing him on for McCluskey? Ben White goes to the right-hand side to Rory Darsh. Driving collision from Dan Sheehan, but Scotland where they want to be. 10 metres out from the Irish line under penalty advantage. Up to Matt Fagerson. Now the 2-man tackle from Conan and Van der Fleer. And come on. Mick says Mary there. Oh, Byrne gets the steal in the breakdown, so they'll go back for the penalty again. And Ireland enjoy slowing the ball down, says Mike. And Ringrose, he hasn't done much. So would you keep McCluskey as the 12 and put Aki at 13? Or would you go Aki to 12, McCluskey on the outside? Byrne is bleeding badly here. Looks like he's got a cut on the forehead. It was McCluskey that they've actually ruled as the man offside. In that case, big push, Scotland, big push. Says Alan, and this is a big question mark for the Scottish now. I don't think they can afford to take the 3-pointers. How you feeling about the game, says Sean? Currently, Ireland are in control, but Scotland are only one big play away from getting right back into this game and giving us an incredible finish for these two sides in the Six Nations. Scotland don't realise how many South Africans support them. A year in and year out, we love their fire and passion. Scotland don't let us down this year, brothers, says Mike. And we're going to see Darren Murray make his way onto the field. This is a massive game to have to come on and try and bring that impact. Definitely in the boots of Tyke Byrne. Probably Aki 12. You get line break and send McCluskey away. Now 3 metres out from the line. Scotland trying to find their way through. Max Williamson Dragged down, few metres out still. Ireland, little bit of a counter ruck there. Working hard in the breakdown. Scotland realise now that they have to protect that ball just a little bit more to keep it on their side. Xander Fagerson plays half. Pops it up to Ashman. Again, great defence from Ireland, tackling it over 90% throughout this contest. Some brilliant goal line defence, not just in this game, but throughout the Six Nations competition. Popping it up to Grant Gilchrist. 5 metres out from the line now. I'm told to use again. Cross to the right-hand side to Xander Fagerson. Yes, we South Africans love Scotland, a grind and grit team. Here's Allen, 5 metres out on the ball though. Sheehan was about half a second away from winning himself the not releasing penalty. Tui Pilotu driven backwards by McCluskey. I still have had a heavyweight clash in the number 12 jersey for today. Ireland almost turning that one into a rolling maul. Scotland, they seem like they are just going to continue with their forwards rather than throwing it out wide, perhaps waiting for that penalty advantage to go for some sort of fancy play. But for now, Ireland continue to defend. This could be for the Six Nations, for these two teams, so they know how crucial these next couple moments are. 12 phases in a row for the Scottish. Ben White goes to Finn Russell, sells the dummy, goes over himself. And the Scottish fly halves in for another try for Scotland. And this game, ladies and gentlemen, is just heated up that little bit more. Russell getting over for the first try since the 8th minute of this game for Scotland. And a huge moment. Perhaps a game-changing one for Scotland there too. If the Scots win this, how do they win the comp? Do England have to beat France? England will have to beat the French, or if Scotland can win this game with a bonus point, it would mean that we'd have to see France not win up against England with a bonus point. Because the French differential in terms of points is just that superior to everyone else. Oh, hang on. Time has called us off here. Something's going to be checked now. Oh, no, never mind. Time was off because they actually wanted to make sure they were on the right mark for the kick rather than anything bad. Well done, fellows. Keep the big push going. Scotland, says Alan. And 1912, says Michael. And there as well. And now a kick still to come. I want to come back. Come on, Scotland, says Given. Finn Russell, a very important kick. South Africa winning up against New Zealand in the sevens, 22-0. Russell strikes it well, gets it down the middle, 19-14, with 27 minutes remaining here. Two sides, they will be fired up for the final 27 of this game. Scotland will feel they have a chance. Ireland will feel that they just need one more big moment to turn this game around. See the side in the huddle just trying to slow down the breathing. It's a big moment for these two sides. Blitzbox 22 says Mohadeen. I have this love-hate thing for the AB7, says Jasmine. Pierre Scorman. Tackled there. Ireland getting straight in the breakdown. McCarthy making it difficult to get the ball out. Ben White has to clear his lines, and it does just stay in the field of play. A very accurate one from Ben White. Line out now for the Irish. Neither side, too many changes have been made yet, but we do see another one here for Ireland. Timoney makes his way on. We've also seen Murray make his way on earlier on, but that was due to an injury rather than just a strategic sub. Ireland don't look up for it. So here's Joey. Well, the thing is, they've scored 3 quick-fire tries in the first 20 minutes. Since then, though, they have gone a little bit more conservative in the way that they played. And I think there's that realisation after Scotland scored that Ireland do need to chase a couple more tries. So Conan, ball on the inside to Jimmy O'Brien as the Irish move up to the 22. This is already the best attack that we've seen from Ireland in the last little while. Look for the dummy cell on the outside, McCarthy. There was no one on the wing. So Scotland not quite falling for it. In that case, 31 phases in Scotland's 2 tries. So that is a credit to the defence of the Irish up Ireland, says Senan. And they're doing, come on, Scotland, says says Chef. Gibson Park, pick and go. Off to Tyg Furlong. Gibson Park looking left. Finds Tom O'Toole, McCarthy. They are drifting across here, Ireland, towards the sideline. 10 metres out from the line. Ringrose is then tackled. Dan Sheehan, 2-man. Tackle on him by Scotland. The ball is still there and available for Jameson Gibson Park. And high again says Leyland, welcome in. Well, both teams get max winning and losing bonus points. Says, I am nutty. What if both teams get max winning and losing bonus points? If both teams get the maximum points, if we're talking about Scotland, then France win the Six Nations due to their points differential. And Tim Timony says Mark there. And come on, the boys, says Sean. Currently 5 metres out from the line for Ireland. 13 phases, and McCluskey trying to break through the low tackle attempt of Ashman. Gibson Park across to Jamie Osborne. He's already scored himself 1 try in this contest. I'm thinking a forward here could be likely, though, for the Irish if they do score. 16 phases in. Now McCarthy, just short of the goal line again. Here comes the run from Doris. The skipper goes over. And the bonus point now for this Irish side. Their first try since around 20 minutes. And out of all the players, oh no, my apologies. It's actually Murray off of the bet. No, they're showing Caelan Doris's name, but they are showing Murray. So I believe it is actually the youngster, Darren Murray, who has scored. What a moment for that man in his career. Yeah, it is not Doris, it's the young man. Gets over the try line. So Ireland get straight back into control of this contest. Young kid says JD. Look up for it, says Joey there. And also we have got there, it looks short, says Sakile there. The kick at the post for Jack Crowley, straight out in front of the post, so does make the score now 26 points to 14. It sounds like they are also going to be checking this one just in case. Oh, only just sneaks over from Crowley. Get in there, Ireland, says Graham. Yeah, New Zealand get a try, said sarcastically. Says Jasmine. Yeah, Darren Murray showing it from another angle here. He was on the line initially, and then, yeah, the try does touch the white line. Or the ball does touch it, I should say. New Zealand lost, says Mohadeen. They lost by quite a margin too, by the sounds of it. Up against the Blitz box. Not an ideal start for the AB7, who are trying to save their 3rd place. Go on, Ireland, says Sham. Now this one kicked high and across field. Robert Balakoon going up for the ball, but it is not backed by Kyle Steyn. The bonus point currently intact for Ireland, which means that they would finish with a total of 19 points if they were going on to win this game. Balakoon holding his arm here. Might be some sort of injury. Sione Tui Palotu puts in the fend, but Doris takes him down. Russell trying to get the pass away quickly. It's an accidental knockdown. And there was a flash of brilliance. Still loads of time on the clock still. It's going to be whoever wears down who most from now. Now still playing under penalty advantage. Russell goes away to the left-hand side. Sione Tui Palotu. Skip pass out wide. Kyle Steyn running down the wing. He's got Ben White with him on the inside, but didn't actually go to him. In the end, offloads up to Rory Dash. 20 metres out from the line for Scotland with 21 left on the clock. Matt Fagerson takes that ball nicely. Tom O'Toole, though, in the breakdown, locked over the ball. Can't win the steal. Russell crossed to Hugh Jones. Rush defence from Ringrose. He does that a few times. This time it has backfired. Blair Kinghorn tries to shovel it on to Graham. Ireland all the way, proud to be Irish, says Christopher there. Still time for this one to get a little bit closer. Pierre Skurman. Now left-hand side, Ben White, Ashman, Russell, short ball to Darge. Couldn't free up the hands to get his offload away. Come on, Scotland, says Sighted. Out now to Kyle Steyn. Another good, solid driving tackle, though, from the Irish defence. Have been strong throughout this contest, just conceding the 2 tries at this point in time, but normally when they concede it is after multiple phases from the Scottish team. Now left-hand side again. The weather is great here in Ireland. I'm not used to that, says Kyle. Yeah, I think it looked like it was going to try and rain at half-time, but luckily it seems now that it is back to being all right. Now Ireland. Another carry from Darge. The defence, the men in green, is not budging. But Scotland, they have got enough skill. You'd like to think on attack to be able to find a way through. Russell, short ball to Kinghorn. Again, he's going to be handled. That looked like he rolled it a little bit too far forward. Could have been the potential penalty to the Irish. Across, Ben White, numbers, left-hand side, quick hands, Daj cuts back in, and it's another try for Scotland. Just when it seemed like they were almost down and out, they fight back, they find a way, and still a quarter of this game to go, ladies and gentlemen, and it's going to be back to only 7 points separating them. I can't see the Scots coming back into this. I'll ask you now, Xander, after they've just scored, now can you? And your beauty says Cal Mack there. A lovely day to be living in the Glens, says Chris O'Hagan. And surely not, says Jesse Robinson. And come on, the boys, says Sean there. A great offload from Hugh Jones. Keeping that ball alive, but some great hands from Williamson and Gilchrist. The two locks getting involved there. And come on, Scotland, you can do this, says Jason. And we will go like that. And we'll go like that as well. Come on, boys, says Home Slice and bang. Scotland are pushing hard. It's the blood. Or it's in the blood, says Alan. That kick has gone over as well, making the score 26 points to 21. The Scottish in attendance at the Aviva. They are smiling from ear to ear. We got another donation there from Sham. Thank you very much yet again, mate, for your generosity. That's how your second one of the day in there. And who's playing, says a boon. So currently Ireland and Scotland, and they are playing quite a matchup. Going to be up there for a match of the tournament nomination if it keeps on going back and forth like this. What a game all. Unreal stuff by both teams. And Scotland shouldn't give up, says Sakele. One try for Scotland wins this, believe, says Alan. And now they are one try away from getting a bonus point here too. Now there is the technicality, ladies and gentlemen, which was if England win their game up against France by more than 8 and France don't receive a bonus point but Scotland receive 2 from this game, then theoretically Scotland can still finish second on the Six Nations standings, but that is a big mistake. Hugh Jones dropping the ball just outside. And bloke of the chats says JD. And also Scotland better win. That means England has to win. Yeah, it's a weird scenario because whoever wins this game out of Ireland or Scotland, they then have to support England, or at least not support them per se, but hope that France do badly up against the English. In the Six Nations, no team gives up, and it's been an incredible competition thus far, and this game's going to have a thrilling finish by the looks of McCluskey breaking through another challenge, as he often does. Gibson Park looking to the right-hand side. Scotland trying to slow it down in the breakdown. Ringrose isolated. And Kyle Stain trying to wrestle him towards that sideline. Dash with the counter-ruck disruption there from Scotland. Gibson Park has to pick it up. I'll take Graham off. Bad movement from Gregor, says Cal Mack. And a knock on there from Ireland in the breakdown. Scotland will have the scrum, but they are inside of their 22. I'd rather give dollars to the man here than the other Muppet mainstream Crims, says Sham there. And very extra spicy game. Yeah, 17 minutes left. That's a long time remaining in this matchup. We have there to the Irish also enjoy their fish and chips like the English. Chippies left, right and centre in England. I think if you have a good fish and chip shop by you, a lot of people do enjoy a good fish and chips. And 26-21, can the Scots go for threes at this stage? With just under 20 minutes left or only tries? I believe they have to go for tries. And the reason I say that is because with a bonus point win here for Scotland, that would give them a 5-point lead over the French, which means that France would have to get themselves the win. And they'd have to get the bonus point to do so. So it depends if Scotland are looking to just win this game or they're looking to win the Six Nations. Wouldn't it be great if Scots win the Grand Slam? It would definitely be thoroughly impressive. And, you know, if they don't, but they win this game, like they'd look at that first match up against the Italians and know that's the one that got away. And come on, Ireland, says Elizabeth. Yeah, a few errors coming in from both sides now. They're handling not as sharp as it was earlier on in the game, and that is just down to the pressure in this current moment. You know, like I said, the Six Nations is on the line here, and both of these sides have to play this game as if this is for the Six Nations. And whoever wins this, they still have a chance of lifting the trophy. Scotland will win. Watch and see, says Paul. They've been told to use a big scrum there from the Scots, but they don't receive the penalty advantage. They're saying here, if Scotland score again, it would be a bonus point try. Magnus Bradbury has made his way on for Jack Dempsey, and also Williamson is now off for Alex Craig. And Spies back in Ireland at the chipper. And when was the last time Scotland won the Six Nations? They have never won the Six Nations. The last time that they won the Five Nations was back in, I believe, 1999, the year I was born. So it's been a long time coming for the Scottish, but of course, there is still that match between France and England that can change everything. Gary Ringrose up to the halfway line. Now, awesome Kiwi. Where I live. Miss New Zealand, says Ronnie. Or no fish and chip where you live. See, because I guess it depends on how close the ocean is too. In terms of how easy it is, I guess, to get fish. Come on, Ireland, says Chris O'Hagan. Now going off to the right, Joe McCarthy. Halfway line at the moment for the Irish. Still with 16 minutes remaining on the clock. It's been back and forth. I don't know what that alarm is, but it goes off at 4:41 a.m. every morning. And we know it quite often because we are streaming at this time. Knocked back by Jimmy O'Brien. Comes off his hand. And it will now be the Scottish line out 40 metres out from their own line. Can I ask a question? That depends on what it is, Mohadeen. And we have got there, they did win the Five Nations back in 1999. Says George, I love fish and chips, but expensive here in Australia. $17, you get one fish and a scoop of chips. The quality, I can get better fish and chips from a takeaway in Otara for $5. That includes a snag. Says Sock, right, few more changes. McCarthy goes off. I do see there Kelleher has also made his way on for the Irish. So now is the time for the changes to happen. Nice take from Scotland at the line out. Finlay BLM, he is out there. They are yet to make that change of Craig Casey on, though, and I don't think they will for quite a bit of time with how close this game is. Damn, I'm 27 older than you. Now I feel old, says Mike. I check the alarms on your cell phone. I think it's like an old watch that's in like a random drawer. But it's just that little beeping noise, as you could hear, maybe through the microphone if it did come through. Now going across Kelleher, goes to Jack Crowley. Now putting it on the outside, McCluskey goes to Bundyaki, who has also made his way on, dragged down by Kyle Stain inside of his own half. Ruck is formed, so Hugh Jones unable to go for the steal. This game is insane. Come on, Scotland, says Sean Kennedy. Yeah, the way that this game's going to finish is pretty much exactly how everyone wanted this game to be. One that could go down to the wire. Do you get a bite in the break, Hamish? Do you ever eat? Says Joe. I think we'll have enough time to do a bit of a snack break. About 30 minutes between the streams. What is your mother's birth month? July. What does that mean, though? Like, in terms of, are you working out zodiac signs or what's the go? We have got their fish and chips in England. Still great because of Brexit, says Joey. And also, go the All Blacks. Sorry, I just got back from the pub. Scotland by 2, says Will for his prediction. This one's going to be kicked downfield from Gibson Park, going down towards the Scottish 22. Taken just outside. Kinghorn tackled in the air. Penalty not awarded by the referee. Pierre Skurman, still within the 22. And go Bundy, says Sham. Told to use it once more. New rule, no year of birth. Oh, charged down there by Ireland. Picked up by George Horn, who has made his way on for Ben White. Kicked downfield from Russell. Oh, sorry, what is my birth month? Sorry, I don't know why I read that as your mother's birth month. But my birth month's December. Sorry, I misread that. You can understand the confusion. I love Ireland, but now I need Scotland to win the whole competition. Now, right-hand side. My fingers hurt from being crossed for the last hour and 40 minutes, says Elizabeth. Can't believe Hamish is 3 years older than me. Gen Z brother, says Illicit. McCluskey gets through Tui Pilotu again. That head dead, you'd have to say McCluskey has had that advantage. Tyke Byrne still putting in the shift to go off the field due to that blood bin, which brought Murray on to score his try. Bundyaki almost through. McCluskey waiting for it on the outside. Offload there, and it will be the try for Ireland. It is Jimmy O'Brien who gets it, and that could just about be the game for the Irish. Although, with 12 minutes remaining and the back and forth nature of this game, you'd still have to say it is far from over. But the finish from Jimmy O'Brien. Tommy O'Brien, in fact, my apologies. That is now in the 68th minute of this game. Now we have got there some maybe kind-hearted IRL. I will let them win. And fish and chips is nice, but the mushy peas part is just puking material, says Gawi there. And home advantage, says Brian. And that guy wasn't marked. Nice space to run through. And that's a small dagger in the heart. Yeah, now for Scotland, they need a try within the next few moments. And like I said, if they finish this game within 7, they still can get second in the overall Six Nations standings, and that would mean that Ireland win if France were defeated by the English. So there's still a lot that can happen. But Ireland at the Aviva, once again looking to go all the way. It'll be undefeated in the Six Nations at home as well for Ireland. Do you think Scots can come back? I think if they score before 75 minutes, they've got a chance. But if we see another Irish try, I'd say this game is done and dusted. Or if we don't see Scotland score before 75, I feel like momentum will just be too far away from them in that case. The celebrations there from the Irish as well for Tommy O'Brien's try. It's a stretching away from Scotland now, and greetings from Italy. Thank you for the nice commentary, says Stoneheads. No worries at all. And we have, of course, got another game just around the corner. That will be Wales versus Italy. Be sure to stick around for that one. We have got the no matter who wins, the streets of Dublin will be fun tonight. Downfield from Jameson, Gibson Park. Take there from Finn Russell. Back to George Horn. It's to Tom Jordan. Big collision there with the Irish defensive Ronan Kelleher. Come on, Scotland and England must hold draw, or France to a draw, for Scotland to win the title. Says Afzil there. So that is going with one more Scottish try, isn't it, rather than a Scottish win. Tackle from the Irish. George Horton. To use it once more. We're almost into the final 10 minutes of this entertaining game. This is better than the boring Stormers game. Says Joe Manor, hard collision in the air, and the penalty awarded to the Irish. Jack Crowley looks like he's hurt his left knee. I feel like Ireland sort of dominated tonight, to be honest, win or lose. It doesn't matter who wins this one. Want England to lose again. My boyfriend went to his friend's house to watch this match. I miss you, Roira. Says Sanika there. Oh, yeah, no, it's just a collision of knees as to why Crowley did stay down. My Saturdays have become cold beer, live comms and Hamish, says Henry. And we have still got plenty more coming up in the near future as well. We've got the match around the corner between Wales and Italy. We've got the game taking place between England and France later on. Are you Irish? I don't believe so. Maybe like 1% way back in the day. But I'm not sure. Did you gorilla the T20 final? I wanted to join. But I knew we would cark it again, says Sock. Never count out Scotland. They scored 50 points against France because scoreline. Now trying to get this one moving in the right direction. Ireland with possession. 9 minutes now remaining. Mr. Kiwi Sir, I got a girl's number. She is 20. Good on you, Junior. That is actually his name, by the way. That's not like me patronising him for being young. Now, Gibson Park going off to the left-hand side. Murray has done very nicely, scoring the try in this game earlier on. It was actually the one that brought up the bonus point for the Irish. Gibson Park trying to spin another tackle with Kinghorn. Are you Spanish, Hamish? No. Not that I know of. Now asking for the penalty advantage, and they get it now, Ireland. So this one would almost put it to bed as if they take the 3 points. They would lead by 15. Drop ball from Crowley. Now the chance to add the additional 3. It would take them up to that 15-point lead. 36-21 would be the scoreline. We're the best lads, Ireland all the way, says Callum. And penalty equals game over, says Joey, and it is a nice, simple one. They call for the shot at the posts. What has been taken from the Six Nations is that no one took Italy or Scotland seriously, says George. And I think that, this competition has been the most competitive it has felt for a long time. In terms of those lower sides having great chances of taking down top teams. Like even you look at the Welsh, the way that they were able to keep the Scottish close. They stayed relatively close with Ireland. Park Columbian says, Chris, you would think so from my driver's license photo. That was back in the day when I had a bit of a mustache and the long hair. And poor Scotland, even if they won, say they beat Ireland, who always seem to big brother them, has like a 99.9% chance France stop England. Or stomp England, I should say. But that one has gone over from Crowley. Scoreline now, 36 points to 21. And Scotland needs the word consistency in their dictionary. And also all Scottish or Southern Hemisphere have Irish heritage. Says Brian. What heritage are you if you're not Irish? I think maybe a bit of Scottish. I'm not too sure, though. Like I said, my sister did the ancestry test, but then never told me the results. So, like, I don't actually know, but she knows. But I have no idea. And we look at the year, says Sham. With a name like Hamish, he should be a Scot, theoretically, but I don't think I was named anything to do with Scotland. It was just they said that I kind of look like a Hamish. Like, my sister was going to be called Forrest, named after Forrest Gump, if she was a man. But I'm kind of glad I didn't get named Forrest, or else I would have had to do a lot of running. That would have sucked. I don't really like running. It's much easier to not run. Consistent failure is still consistency. Says Sabotage. Now line out here for Scotland. They haven't quite given up in this contest, but they would need to score now very quickly and efficiently. Thanks, Ronnie, says Callum. Ewan Ashman throws it into Grant Gilchrist. And well done, France is all over for the Scottish. Can you speak Sisitho? No. Unfortunately. Now, looking to get this one moving forward. Couple meters out from the try line. So waiting for this one. It's going to be collapsed by the Irish. They keep it in play. That one's not coming. Or no, now it does. We've got the game more on. Says insert name here. How does someone who doesn't even have a name try and insult us? Going off to the right-hand side. George Horn passes it on now. Bradbury goes to the right-hand side. George Horn. Again, using it quickly. They don't have a lot of time to work with here. They have to score, and they have to score now. And who go Ireland? Says Henry. Then you Scottish if your sister said so. No, my sister didn't say so. Still 5 meters out. Brilliant goal line defence from this Irish team all throughout. Consider the 3 tries. And once again, if Scotland get a bonus point here, theoretically, they still can go ahead of France in the overall standings, but it would result in England getting a big win over the French if that was the case. And let's go Ireland, says Elizabeth. Now Rory Sutherland wearing that number 17 jersey, shut down from Bundy Aki. Looks like the steal was there for Byrne initially, but Scotland take it straight back. And Colby Hamish Combs, great Saturday afternoon. Still got plenty more coming up too. Italy versus Wales will be the next contest. That is kicking off in only around 50 minutes time. Now right hand side once more. Moving it on to Ipolotu. Nice hands. Russell can't quite feed it away. Great low tackle made by Bundy Aki. And even if they do score now, Scotland, it has taken so long to get through this Irish defence that you wonder if they would still have time for any sort of impossible comeback. Please hold out, says Chris. Come to Cape Town, we have the best fish and chips. And now penalty to Ireland, just out from their goal line. That should be the moment that wins them this game. Big cheer for you again for the excellent commentary and engagement here. You keep it entertaining and above the belt. Kudos, says Alan. Yeah, still plenty more coming. And of course, the Six Nations is coming to a close, but we have still got the URC that we do cover on the channel, so we get to see a lot of these guys playing for Glasgow, for Leinster, for Munster, for Ulster, for Edinburgh, all in the near future too. Aren't you curious what heritage you come from? Not massively. Like, I'm sure like there'll be some sort of logic behind it, but at this stage, I mean, it's one of those ones I don't really mind knowing, don't mind not knowing. Super hot here in Cape Town, cold beer flowing, says Anril, and now in the coffin, yeah, that big moment there. The turnover won by the Irish right on their own goal line as well. Craig lead out of the cage for 3 minutes, says South Kid. The French power, says Cameron there too. And the Celtic Bolters, says Brian, Gibson Park. Will make his way off. So yeah, Craig Casey gets a whole solid 3 minutes to be able to get something going. But the Irish have got themselves the line out, 35 metres out from their own try line. Let's say Ireland win and England win. Who's going to win the Six Nations? Then Ireland would win the Six Nations competition. Oh, bit of a high shot there on O'Brien, but he was dipping. Now Jamie Osborne went for the kick downfield. It is cleaned up by Scotland's Tom Jordan. And it's going to go into touch though. And we have their Six Nations trophy still going to Scotland, I'm sorry to say, says Villy. Yeah, the ball is really in France's court. They can either go out and get themselves a big victory over England, or even they don't need a big victory. Just a 1.1 would be enough. And we're able to beat England in 2024 in France by 2 points. So even doing that would be enough to get them that Six Nations title. As a South African, who do you prefer of the Irish teams? Of Leinster, Munster, Connacht and Ulster? I assume that's to the people in the chat, right? Seeing as I'm not a South African. Zone Drop Rugby in Canada. I think found your stream today and more entertaining than watching the game. Koi Big. Says Daniel. Yeah, it is greatly appreciated. And still plenty more rugby to come in the very near future as well. I'm sure there'll be a lot of Irish eyes on that last game of the Six Nations. And to be fair, if Scotland score again, there'll be a few Scottish eyes on there too. Kyle Steyn knocks it backwards. George Horn round halfway, 90 seconds now left. Steyn plays half. Crowd singing loud and proud for this Irish team here. That was an entertaining game. Gosh, Ireland can slow the ball down so much. Richie would blush. This is the loudest I think I've heard the Irish crowd sing. They are absolutely loving the result here. Oh, Finn Russell's knees won't be loving that tackle. He did get driven awkwardly into the turf. Leinster up the Cats. Kilkenny in the house. Saw here tomorrow, says Elizabeth. And cheers. Again, Hamish, much appreciated for all the banter today. Oh, ball is taken back by the Irish. Or at least it looked like it. No, they haven't quite managed to steal that one in the breakdown. Ewan Ashman. Now the ball. Still being contested each and every time. Finn Russell going for the wide cut-out pass. Knock on from Tui Pelotu. Taken back by Ireland. And it will be another try. Tommy O'Brien, I should say, gets his double. And Ireland score again near the end of this game. And that is the one that will put the final touches on this contest. The Irish, they have won it. And the price of Guinness Stout has doubled in the last hour. And tomorrow is finals of European comp as well. So if England beat Ireland win the Six Nations, that is correct, yes. Because of the bonus point here for Ireland, this is the way that the table's set heading into this game. So Ireland now find themselves on 19 points. But then also, if it's a draw between France and England, and France receive a bonus point for 4 or more tries, then France will win the Six Nations. So a very close, high-scoring draw. Well, of course, a draw is going to be very close. So a high-scoring draw or a win for the French will take them to the Six Nations title. If not, and they lose or they draw and it's not that high-scoring, then Ireland would be the side that take out the Six Nations for 2026. Great kick from the sideline from Crowley to finish this one off, but the score, 43-21. We will get to see now what will happen for the final couple games. Of course, we still have one more match before that big contest between France and England, and some would still consider this one a big match too between Wales and Italy. That one is coming up in only around 30 minutes time, so if you guys are new, of course, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. But I do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, hopefully we will see you back for those next live streams that are coming up very shortly. But Caelan Doris, he'll be proud of what this Irish side were able to do out there on the field. 3 quick-fire tries in the early stages. And then from there, bit of a Scottish comeback, as we have seen multiple times in this Six Nations. Scotland have won 13 of the 14 matches against Scotland. In the last decade, definition of boogeyman for Scotland, says Otto. As the match over, it certainly is 43-21, the way that it sits in the end. Can't believe my eyes with this dismal scoreline, says Xander in Italy with the fingers crossed there from Ali. And yeah, that game happening very soon. Are you home alone, Hamish? Or must your family tolerate your comms? They do tolerate it. I am on the far side of the house, so they don't normally hear me, which is good news. We got like 2 or 3 doors shut in between us, but every once in a while they will like be awake and hear some of the commentary, but not a huge amount, luckily, which is quite good news because or else I'd drive them mad. Brilliant coverage, man. I've subscribed. We've got to go to bed now due to Australian time. See you, Sham. Yeah, that is completely understandable. And also, thank you very much for your donations earlier on the streams. Greatly appreciated. Rinse and repeat every year. I am delighted, says Barry. And well, I hope France better England tonight and deprive the fence-sitting shifty gypsies a win. Geez, that's a very bit of a rough one there, Andrew. And ring a bell so family can hear. If there is a try scored, says Xander. And either one triple crown as well, says I am nutty. Another triple crown for the boys. Says Cringy Cook. But now we wait and see. Next match just around the corner, 30 minutes time between Wales and Italy, and then the match after that, it will be the decider of the Six Nations competition. France taking on the English. If France get a close, if they get a high-scoring draw or a win, they will win the Six Nations. But nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all for the next one.